we witnessing the beginning of the most seismic shift in NBA history, with two of the league's biggest superstars potentially demanding trades from their current franchises in what could reshape the entire basketball landscape? Imagine scrolling through your social media feed on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, only to be hit with breaking news alerts that would send the entire basketball world into absolute chaos. Lebron James requests trade from Lakers, followed minutes later by Giannis. Antetokounmpo demands trade from Bucks. Your first reaction might be to check if you're living in some alternate reality, because the thought about the King and the Greek Freak simultaneously demanding trades feels like something straight out of a basketball fan's fever dream. Yet, according to recent reports and analysis, this shocking double earthquake scenario might be closer to reality than anyone could have imagined. The dominoes have been falling into place for months, creating a perfect storm of circumstances that could lead to the most dramatic midseason trade requests in NBA history. We're not talking about role players seeking better opportunities or aging veterans chasing final championships. We're talking about the generational talents in their respective primes who could fundamentally alter the championship landscape with a single phone call to their front offices. Let's start with Lebron James, because his situation represents something we've never witnessed in his legendary 22-year career. For the first time ever, the King finds himself in a position where he's not the undisputed alpha dog of his franchise. The Lakers' aggressive pursuit of Luka Doncic, combined with their refusal to offer LeBron an extension and their apparent reluctance to go all-in on championship pieces, sends a clear message about organizational priorities. It's a message that doesn't sit well with someone who's built his entire legacy on being the centerpiece of every team he's ever joined. Grant Hughes from Bleacher Report captured this perfectly when he noted that everything from Doncic's recruitment to the Lakers' offseason decisions points toward LeBron's eventual departure. The psychological aspect can't be understated. Asking LeBron to accept a secondary role after 2 decades of being the franchise cornerpiece goes against every fiber of his competitive DNA. This isn't just about basketball production, it's about identity, legacy, and the fundamental question of whether the greatest player of his generation can accept playing Robin to someone else's Batman. The timing couldn't be more dramatic either. LeBron is operating on an expiring contract for the first time in his career, having opted for a $50.6 million player option that makes him a free agent in 2026. That creates urgency that didn't exist in previous trade speculation. This isn't theoretical anymore. This is real leverage that could force the Lakers' hand if they want to recoup any value for their former franchise centerpiece. But the Western Conference landscape makes LeBron's situation even more complex. The competition has never been fiercer, with Kevin Durant joining Houston, Denver retooling their roster, and Oklahoma City looking like a dynasty in the making. If the Lakers can't guarantee championship contention, why would LeBron waste what might be his final elite years on a rebuilding project disguised as competitive basketball? Meanwhile, Giannis Antetokounmpo faces a completely different but equally compelling set of circumstances in Milwaukee. Unlike LeBron, there's no question about his status as the franchise cornerpiece. He's the undisputed leader, a 2-time MVP, and the player who delivered Milwaukee's first championship in 50 years. But being the main guy doesn't guarantee championship success, and the Bucks' consecutive first-round playoff exits despite his elite performance have clearly worn thin on his patience. The dismissal of Damian Lillard and the subsequent roster construction around Giannis hasn't provided the championship caliber support he needs. Adding Miles Turner from Indiana might help, but it's hardly the kind of blockbuster move that transforms a franchise from playoff disappointment to legitimate title contender. For someone of Giannis's caliber, watching prime years slip away on teams that can't maximize his talents becomes increasingly frustrating. Hughes suggests that Giannis will read the signs during the 2025-26 season and conclude that requesting a trade is his only realistic path to championship success. Unlike LeBron, Giannis isn't a free agent until 2027, which gives Milwaukee more control, but also creates a ticking clock scenario. The longer they wait to address his concerns, the less trade value they'll recoup when the inevitable happens. The ripple effects of both superstars simultaneously requesting trades would be unprecedented in modern NBA history. Every contending franchise would immediately recalibrate their championship plans, knowing that landing either player could instantly transform them into title favorites. The trade market would become absolutely chaotic, with teams potentially mortgaging their entire futures for a chance to acquire generational talent. Golden State has been prominently mentioned as a potential destination for Giannis, and the fit makes sense on multiple levels. They have the championship infrastructure, the complementary players, and the organizational culture that could maximize his talents while extending their competitive window. Imagine Giannis running alongside Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. It's the kind of super team that could dominate the league for years. For LeBron, the calculation becomes more complex. Because of his age and personal considerations, he's established roots in Los Angeles for family reasons. But championship chasing might override those concerns if the Lakers can't provide a competitive environment. Eastern Conference teams with championship aspiration would likely line up to acquire him, knowing that even a 41-year-old LeBron could be the difference between playoff disappointment and championship glory. The potential domino effect extends beyond just these two trades. If LeBron and Giannis both request trades, it could trigger an unprecedented period of superstar movement that reshapes the entire league structure. Other stars might look at their situations and decide that requesting trades is the new normal. For maximizing championship opportunities, from the Lakers' perspective, a LeBron trade request might actually provide relief from an impossible situation. They could acquire young talent and assets to accelerate their rebuild around Doncic, while avoiding the awkwardness of asking their former franchise savior to accept a reduced role. Players like Khris Middleton from Milwaukee have been mentioned as potential targets, who could provide veteran leadership and production in a post-LeBron era. Milwaukee faces an even more challenging situation with Giannis because losing him would essentially end their championship window entirely. Unlike the Lakers, who have Doncic as their future centerpiece, the Bucks don't have an obvious succession plan. Trading Giannis would signal a complete organizational reset that could take years to recover from. The timing of these potential trade requests adds another layer of drama to an already compelling narrative. Mid-season trades of this magnitude are rare because of their complexity, but they're not impossible. If both players conclude that their current situations are untenable, the February trade deadline could become the most chaotic in NBA history. The psychological impact on both franchises and their fan bases would be seismic. Lakers fans would be losing the player who delivered their most recent championship, while Bucks supporters would watch their hometown hero and championship savior potentially leave for greener pastures. These aren't just basketball moves. They're franchise-altering decisions that could define both organizations for the next decade. As we move deeper into the season, every game becomes crucial for both the Lakers and Bucks. Early struggles could accelerate trade request timelines, while strong starts might convince both superstars to give their current situations more time. The pressure on both front offices to address championship concerns has never been higher. The broader NBA landscape is watching these situations with fascination and concern. If the players of LeBron and Giannis' caliber can request trades despite their legendary status, it suggests that player empowerment has reached unprecedented levels. The traditional concepts of franchise loyalty and organizational stability could be permanently altered. Whatever happens, we're potentially witnessing the end of two eras simultaneously. LeBron's time with the Lakers and Giannis' tenure with the Bucks could both conclude in spectacular fashion, reshaping the championship chase in ways that nobody could have predicted just months ago. So what do you think, basketball fans? Could we really see both LeBron and Giannis request trades this season? And how would that change everything we know about the NBA? Drop your predictions in the comments and hit that like button. If this potential chaos has your basketball mind completely blown, because if these trades actually happen, we'll all be witnesses to the most dramatic midseason transformation in professional sports history.